Hi and bienvenue to the newest episode of Inside AMG, where today it's time for us to put the rubber down because we're going to learn everything about tire development, and for that we are here in beautiful France at the facilities of Michelin, one of our development partners. And we're also going to meet some experts in today's show, and the first one you might recognize from an earlier video, so there's a lot to look forward to. Stay tuned. Hi, Dirk.
Hi, Felix.
How's it going?
Very good, and you?
I'm very well. Beautiful day out in France. How could I not be well?
Yes,
Wonderful.
exactly. Here in the beautiful Auvergne. And yeah, glad to see you.
Glad to see you too, again, because I have to explain to the viewers at home, you might recognize Dirk from an earlier video we shot last year on the record attempt with the GT Black Series on the Nordschleife. So if you want to watch that again, you can click the link up top or down at the bottom. But why don't you explain to the viewers at home once more what you do at Mercedes-AMG?
Thank you, Felix. Yeah, I'm the head of the tire development. We are testing here with the whole team, and we have the opportunity to be guest here at the Michelin Proving Ground.
Oh, okay, so this is like a whole joint operation that we have together with Michelin to develop the tires for AMG cars, or?
Yeah, we developed the tires with several suppliers, all the top manufacturers like Pirelli, Conti, Yokohama, and especially Michelin we are working with. They get the requirements from us, then they build up the prototype tires, test them internally, because they have their own testing department for AMG. And when they have a good level of the prototype tires, they want to have our feedback. And then we come together, like here, and we test the tires and look how we can go a step further.
They have a bespoke department in the team only to work on AMG tires. So do we do that for like every car, or?
Yes, we develop the tires for every single car, from the
Wow.
A35 till the G model. Every single dimension is developed because it's very important. It is the only contact pad to the ground, and it's very important part for the driving performance of AMG.
I have to say that is really quite impressive. I didn't know that we did that for every car. Every car gets a bespokely developed tire. I mean, that helps understand why, I mean, this is a pretty big operation we're part of here. I also can't help but notice there is a camouflaged car here in the garage, and that always gets me very excited. Can we take a step inside?
Yeah, let's take a look. We have prepared here something.
Wow, not too bad.
This is our team. We are preparing the next test here.
Nice.
This is Ronnie, Axel and Harry, our mechanics, who are looking for the tire setting,
Hey there.
doing the pressure and so on. Yeah, and over here we have two of our engineers in the team. You have Matthias, who will follow the tire simulation and
Hello.
the correlation to the testing here. And Simon is also a test engineer from our team, which are also doing here joint tests together with the Michelin guys.
So you got a whole crew of AMG employees here at the facilities in France to take care of all the tire testing that you do.
Not all of our team members, but as you see, a lot of them. So it's quite hard work here, and we need a lot of mechanics, a lot of engineers for all this testing.
I mean, I can see it's a lot of hard work on a very interesting car. I mean, it is a prototype, it is a sporty looking convertible, but I guess it's a little too soon to tell people what car this is.
Yeah, we're gonna drive it.
Oh, that sounds good.
But now I want to introduce you our Michelin colleagues. So let's gonna meet them. I'd like to introduce you Samuel. Hello, Samuel.
Hello, Dirk.
And Pierrot from the Michelin team. Hello,
Dirk.
Pierrot.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Felix.
So Dirk already introduced me to his team, his AMG team here at the facilities. But of course, since we are at Michelin, you guys are here as well. What exactly is it that you do together with AMG, or what is your specialty?
Well, our specialty is when AMG is coming to us saying that we have a new car to launch on the market, then we bring all our experts together to design the best tire for them. tire like that to really meet their expectation and have customer which we are happy with tire and the car at the end.
Not too bad. How much time actually goes into the development of a tire for a specific AMG model?
Well, they are very demanding. I mean, the time is between 1 and 2 years, so it's quite long.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what are the different components that you can take care of in order to develop the perfect tire for a specific car, like in terms of tread and material?
Yeah, for sure. Depending on the needs from AMG, then we can get a tire like this one or this one with a specific tread compound or specific architecture inside as well. This one is especially more grippy. We can see it as well on the tread, but that's the kind of design that we put in the tire.
Testing is a very good keyword, because you got all these kilometers of beautiful tarmac in this region. So I imagine a lot of time of the development goes into actually testing out the tires and seeing what's what. And so what are the specific challenges in meeting these demanding goals that the AMG guys set out?
Yeah, it's always somehow a question of balance between front and rear. In fact, front and rear must work as one to give as much precision as we can, and it's never enough for Dirk and his team, because you know we are building high-level tires for such fantastic cars. We can't accept compromise. We need to be perfect everywhere. So if you want this to be reached, you have to test, and in every conditions, in every place. We of course we test here, but we also test it in some quite known track, not Nordschleife.
Yep.
So, and my job is to find the best combination between front and rear to have the best reaction from the car, and then if we still miss some points, I have to translate it in Michelin words to explain the designers what is the good direction, what should be improved.
So we actually heard a lot about the testing work that goes into the tires. Do we actually get to test the tires?
Yes, Felix. I've prepared something for you. So thank you, guys. See you later. And now we are going to have a test drive.
Nice.
Okay,
Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Ooh, I see long straights and banked corners.
Yeah.
Nice. I like the look of that.
Passengers expect that we are doing very extreme things, but especially when we start our evaluation, we drive very sensitive, and we try to see the early things in our evaluation, that we are not surprised later. So now here we go for the straight ahead stability, and you see the car is moving to the left quite early.
Oh, okay.
I put the car back, and then the car starts again to move on the left side. So
Wow.
this is not what we expect from the tire. So there is room to improve, because we want to have a car which is very stable and straight ahead.
So that all comes down to the tire, the whole movement that we can see, just because we have a tire mounted now that is still in the early stages of its development.
Exactly. So this is a mount of prototype tires, and we keep the car as a reference and put on the different prototype tires to evaluate which fits the best. Now we drive 150, and we do again the maneuver, and you see the car moves much earlier to the right, then to the left. I keep it back. And again it moves on the right and on the left, and that makes the car very nervous. So when the customer drives on a straight, he doesn't maybe know every criteria, but he feels that he's very tired, because the car forces him to give so many attention on driving it, and we want to have a car which is driving easily, and that's why we are here.
I have to say that's quite impressive. I mean, first of all, this huge track that we're on allows us to explore these Autobahn-like speeds. in the prototype with the prototype tires on. But yeah, I can really see how that makes all the difference in the world when you're traveling long distance, especially, and you're constantly forced to fight against the car and not drive with the car. That gets very exhausting.
Yes, and now we did a little lane change maneuver like here. You feel? And the rear axle is moving a little bit, you know, this lane change maneuver. That is one of our evaluation points where we say, okay, that's maybe a bit too much. We have to get less oversteering in the car because otherwise it is not okay in times of safety driving.
Crazy.
We can speed up a little bit because here we are on the proving ground, so we can drive as fast as we want. You hear it's getting noisy.
Yeah.
It's still a prototype for sure. Now you can steer here quite fast.
Wow.
Okay, but I think it is much more interesting when you try it by yourself. So let's change seat.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Okay.
Time to get in the driver's seat.
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
We do have the track completely to ourselves, fortunately. So now we're at 120.
Yeah, 120. Put hands on the steering and you see the movement of the car.
Yeah, I'm dead straight and the car is moving.
Yeah. And now it's
steering
moving
dead
on the
straight.
left. Yeah.
Wow.
Going back, it's moving on the right.
That is spooky. That is spooky.
And here you see we have room to improve. Yeah, that's not our philosophy that the car is driving like that. But we have a prototype, and that is part of our work. And now you can check the steering precision a little bit, and you see there's a gap around zero.
Yeah.
So it can be more precise.
There's always a bit of a delay.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And we want to improve that as well.
That is crazy. I mean, I could already sort of feel it on the passenger side, but sitting in the driver's seat, it's super obvious.
And when you try to do such little cornering maneuvers, you maybe feel a bit of this progressivity I showed you. The car turns and then it turns more.
Yeah. It feels like the backside is about to step out.
Yeah. You turn in,
Wow.
and immediately you have to go back because you feel there's more jaw acceleration from the car than you expect as a driver. That is, again, another criteria we want to improve.
Especially for somebody who's not used to driving cars or driving cars fast, this unpredictability is, of course, can be quite uncomfortable on the road.
Yeah. And when you come in a dangerous situation, you need all the confidence in the car to have a quick maneuver.
So basically that's where safety and performance comes together, because without having safety and confidence in the car, you can never drive fast and you can never put the performance down. I'm putting all these corrections in just to keep it in a straight line. It feels like I'm having to work really, really hard just to drive straight ahead.
Yeah. And when you now go in this banking of the corner, you can speed up a little bit, and you try to have one steer angle. You feel that the car is even here is moving.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
And Felix, that is how we develop step by step each part of the car. We fit together all the best parts, and then we develop again step by step.
Wow.
And after we found a specification which works in every criteria really well, then we give it the target approval, the AMG target approval, and we mark it with MO1 on the sidewall, so that every customer can buy the tire even when the first set is gone on his car.
Now it makes a lot of sense. Like that sticker on the tire, that's a real vote of confidence, like a seal of approval from you guys that this has been properly tested and developed for that exact car, and you can't just take any old tire off the shelf and stick it on a car and expect it to work properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really understand that now.
Okay, then let's check out for the next set. Maybe it is different.
Oh yeah, can't wait for that.
Okay, yeah, let's check the second set of tire here.
So far, of course, for me in the passenger seat, not that big a difference. I can still feel the car moving. Under my buttocks, I feel the change in surface.
And we do exactly the same things like before. Same
Wow.
speed, same maneuvers. It's quite important to compare each set. You feel the impact?
That is actually already quite impressive, I have to say. Also, the change in surface that we just had
Yeah.
felt completely different.
Yeah.
And the car feels a lot more planted when we go over these like ridges across the road.
Yeah. Now we do
Yeah.
the straight ahead stability on uneven road. Before we had more moving in the car.
Uh-huh.
Now the car is in line.
I can also see it on your hands, like you're not moving at all. The
Yeah.
car is perfectly planted.
Now we are in the banking again, and we again check here how the car is following the radius. We come to the next place over there where we check again the linearity. Now with a bit more steering angle, we know that it seems to be quite stable.
Whoa.
And what I explained to you before, what do you feel, Felix?
It feels completely different. Like on the other set, it felt like we were gonna spin. Like the rear of the car was gonna overtake us, and now it feels like it's on rails almost.
Yeah. So I think that could be our MO1 specification.
Oh wow.
The comfort is better, the straight ahead is better, the on-center response is better. You feel the precision in the center point, and you feel the linearity. It is much more neutral than
Wow.
before, and you can turn quite heavily. Look at this.
That is
But it's
so
very
impressive.
smooth how the
Yeah.
car slides, and easy to control to catch it back.
That is so impressive.
But now you drive, and that is even more impressive, I guess.
I can't wait to see that difference or to feel that difference for myself. It was
Yes.
already hugely impressive on the passenger side.
Here you see the tires brand new. We changed a little bit,
Ah.
but it's more inside of the tire. So it's not always that you directly see what happens, but you feel it. Take a seat.
Now it's gonna get interesting. So getting back up to speed, car moves perfectly straight. No corrections, no numbness. That is awesome.
I think now you feel it even better.
It feels completely different.
And then you can turn a little bit the steering wheel to check the precision.
Yeah, there is no dead center point, like no play in the steering at all. You always feel a resistance, and you always feel, okay, the tires or the car is doing exactly what I want it to do. Every
Yeah.
input is instantly transferred into the movement of the car. Everything feels super precise.
So you trust in the car, yeah?
Yeah.
You have confidence in the car.
Yeah.
You have the rear axle stability.
Wow.
You have the precision of the front axle. Yeah, and that is where we are looking for.
That is just, I mean, without knowing, I probably would have thought, okay, those tires, they're not in the best shape, the ones we had on before. But now seeing what a tire is actually supposed to do after you've put so much effort into the development and the testing, that is just mind-blowing. I gotta say, this was already hugely impressive. But I guess you got some more things in store here on these facilities, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, now we have a good level here with this specification. We are close to MO1 target approval, but for sure we have to check out another proving ground, another test track, and we are going to the wet handling because when the tire is good in this discipline, we have to check out in the wet, and that's the reason why we are going to the wet handling, and you will see.
Nice. Let's head on over there.
Okay. Here's the chrono. Let's measure the time. Let's have a little battle.
Oh, that's going to be exciting. And there's going to be undeniable proof of how much quicker you're going to be than me.
Oh, come on. Let's see. We are taking here the inner line.
Okay.
And here again, accelerate. Put the traction on the track. It's a bit slippery here, so take care.
A bit slippery.
But the car and the tire fits quite well, even in the wet. For sure we push here, because you have to push for sure. Otherwise you can't feel the limit and you can't feel the differences between each tire. And I try to set a good time, because I know you're a good driver, Felix. We checked the steering, we checked the braking in the corners and on the straight. Now the acceleration again. Full pull. Okay. I guess that was my best.
Wow.
3, 2, 8, 1. Now we change seat and it's up to you.
That was so crazy. There's no point in even me trying to beat that lap time. I'm just going to injure us both. So I'm going to leave the prototype driving to you, I think. Thanks. Wow.
Okay, it's your choice.
Yep. I think I'm going to chicken out on that one.
Okay. But I have another highlight for you. Let's go to the famous racetrack Charade.
Nice. Nice. That sounds like a plan. Let's go there.
Okay, let's go.
I'm in the big leagues, told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding the road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now. So I need that go, y'all. Got hits when they throwing the fastball. Just too quick for it. Peeling off like the whip orange. Seen they effort, this piss poor. I got too much, I gotta tend to. Car payments and the rent due. Told y'all that I'm 6 foot, but with the money statement, I'm 10-2. Too much that I've been through, so I put it all in that rear view. Clean money in a black whip. Got old problems with the friends new.
Yeah, Felix, welcome to the famous racetrack Charade here. And here's your highlight. Hello, Manuel.
Hey Dirk, how are you?
Fine.
Hello
Felix.
there.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Okay, guys, then have fun. I head over to my team, so see you later.
See you later. Thank you. Wow. I mean, I have to say, I didn't expect to see you here. The viewers probably recognize you. This is Manuel Metzger. He's actually the winner of the 2016 24-hour race at the Nürburgring. What are you doing here?
I'm testing this beautiful car, our GT Black Series, and I'm part of the tire development team within AMG. So I'm not just a racing driver. I also help to develop all these nice and beautiful tires for these beautiful cars.
Not just a racing driver. Nope. That's the understatement of the year, I believe. That is awesome. I mean, that goes to show once more, you can't put more motorsports into these tires and into the cars than having actual racing drivers help develop the tires. That is crazy. Wow.
Exactly. And we have the most radical car here from Mercedes-AMG, our GT Black Series. You want to have some fun on this racetrack with this car?
Definitely.
You want to join me on a lap?
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe more?
Yep, definitely. So I suppose I need to get dressed first.
Yeah,
right?
You need a racing suit like me.
Yeah.
We have something prepared and a helmet. So get dressed up and let's have some fun.
All right, let's go.
Cool.
Like I'm in the big leagues, told him that I gotta go, dog. I'm riding the road, y'all. I think that I'm back in my bag now. So I need that go, y'all. Got hits when they throwing the fastball. Just too quick for it. Peeling off like the whip orange. Seen they effort, this piss poor. I got too much, I gotta tend to. Car payments and the rent due. Told y'all that I'm 6 foot, but with the money statement, I'm 10.
Can't believe this is happening. I've never been to this track before. I just heard it's superb, very, very exciting. But yeah, this whole experience here, I gotta say I'm quite I'm a bit nervous, excited, but nervous.
Yeah, you don't have to be nervous, trust me. Our Black Series is a great car. You will see how much grip it has. And what I want to do now is to show you the difference between our soft compound, the MO1A, and the hard compound, the MO2. And now at the moment we're driving the soft compound. So we're starting with this one. We will do a warm-up lap. And after that, we will do 3, 4, 5 hot laps to see what the tire can do. And then we can compare in the second outing with the hard tire what the difference is.
All right.
You
all
ready?
right. I'm ready.
Let's go. Felix, how is it?
It's unbelievable. Everything Dirk told me earlier about the car feeling planted and precise and neutral, it all comes together now. This is just crazy, the amount of grip. It's just, wow.
That's why it is our fastest car ever built.
Yep, I can see that.
Not just the fastest and most powerful, also the most or the best handling car ever.
It's just
And
so
one reason
impressive.
for that is the Cup 2R tire. It's really, this makes the difference.
And everything is switched off. No ESP, no traction control. This is just pure grip and power.
Yeah,
And
the
of
purpose
course-
of driving without everything is that we get the full picture of the tire. So
It all comes
if
down
we
to
would
your
have
very
TC in the
capable
car
hands.
or ESP, it wouldn't show what the tire is capable
Yeah.
of being. So therefore we switch everything off and have the full experience.
Can't wait to see how different it feels on the different set of tires.
So that's what we're gonna do now. The guys will change tires from soft to hard, and then let's see what the difference is.
Can't wait to see that. So off we go for our second stint, this time with the hard compound tire.
Hard compound. So we will feel a difference in the warm-up. So as it's a hard compound and meant to be the endurance tire, as the other one is the quali tire, let's say, the soft one. The warm-up will take a little bit longer, and we also won't have this peak performance as the soft one has. But therefore we have a little bit more durability. So if anyone wants to drive track days and wants to drive a bit longer with the tire, then it's definitely a hard compound. And also if you have some hot weather conditions, you also need, or not need, but it's better to have the hard compound. And now let's see where the differences are.
Oh yeah.
So first fast lap done, tire feels good. You definitely can feel there's not that high peak as with the soft. Especially in the front, the soft is a little bit more precise as the
Yeah.
hard one. But
Just-
still we're talking about difference on a high level. So
Yeah.
as you can see with Felix, his face is still very tense, so we are still going very, very fast. It's just minor differences in the tire, but for a peak performance lap time, you will feel the difference with the soft one, as this one has just a bit more peak, but also the hard one is a lot of fun to drive and very, very fast.
I have to say, it does feel different. Like, especially the first lap that we had with the first set of tires
Yeah.
with the soft compound, that felt like it was glued onto the tarmac. And then you could feel the temperature. Like, once there was a certain temperature threshold that we reached, the tires started behaving a little bit differently. So it's really that, like you said, it's the hot lap tire.
Yeah.
It's the one to set that one blistering fast lap time and still be on a very high level for the rest of the stint.
Yeah.
And this just felt very neutral, very linear, like
Yeah.
there were tons of grip and then even more for just lap after lap after lap, and you were really gutting it. Like, that was absolutely unbelievable. And in every aspect of it, the hard braking for the corners, the accelerating out of the corners, there were just so many reserves. And of course, the cornering itself, everything feels so planted. Like with both sets of tires, it was otherworldly. So cool.
If I compare it to my GT3 race car, to be honest, with the new set of tires on a soft, it's not a big difference to the slick tires we have.
That is some high praise.
It's honestly amazing how this car handles with his soft tires.
So there you have it. In true AMG fashion, I would like to say thank you for watching this episode on tire development at Mercedes AMG. Thank you, Manuel, for making this possible.
You're welcome.
It was just a mind-blowing experience. Thanks to Dirk. Also thanks to the wonderful guys at Michelin for making this possible. It was a truly exceptional experience and also a very educational one. I learned a lot about what it takes to develop high-performance tires for high-performance cars. So if you like what you've seen today, hit the like button. Also drop us a comment down below and let us know what you would like us to shoot next. Subscribe to our channel, hit the little bell icon so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. And until the next one, bye-bye.